Alright, I think they're about cooked.
Hello.
This time on Crash Test Dummy TV. Alright, so you've got somehow oil or grease or whatever on your brake pads. In my case it was from the fork seals leaking straight into the brake pads. Now rather than throw them away, I know there's chips and that all over, but that won't matter. They're sintered pads, they've got metal flakes in them, so that'll bind it together. Rather than throw them away and get another pair, I have heard of someone that they used a blowtorch once, but I am going to use this. A boiling pot, that's what I'm going to use, because the hot water will draw the oil away and the heat, and it'll all float on the surface, and yeah, be free of the brake pads. Groovy. So this is the hard bit. Once it's boiling, now I'm going to put it face down just so the heat gets to the pad the most. Now certainly don't tell your wife or your girlfriend that you're using one of their pots, but it's steel, well, stainless steel, so I'll be able to clean it properly afterwards and I won't be found out. Cool, I'll show you the results when I'm done. Alright, I think they're about cooked. It's not like it's an egg, it's not like it's a minute. It's more like it's 10 minutes roughly. Between 5 and 10, that's what I boiled them for. I'll let that boil down, and then I'll take the pot itself outside and just let it sit there for a bit, because it still will probably leach out, well, because the water's hot. Don't forget a rag under your knee. Alright, they're a lot cleaner. Now what I did do at the end, I just put it on the face of the grinder, just to give it a very smooth, but you could probably use sandpaper or anything like that, just to give it a rough up. Get that, well, I did ride it with oil on the pads, so it would have made a gloss or a sheen, so just to take that sheen off. Anyway, they're all ready to go back on. Now other things you could have used, you could have gone down and got yourself one of these, or one of these, or even use a barbecue. That would have worked. How do these go on again? Yeah, but the gas part of the barbecue, gas flame, or a stove. Obviously you're not going to hold your fingers in there, but would have worked. Tricky these brakes sometimes, but they're quite obvious. As long as things are in place when it goes on. Certainly test it in the driveway before you go for a ride, just to be sure. Actually, when is Pirates Day? Well, that's Irish. But International Pirate Day. When is it? I'll put it on the screen. Get in there and stay in there. Are you seating? Don't know if you're seating properly. Always handy to have a bit of grease in the pistons. Well, not pistons, the slides in there and there. It helps keep everything moving freely. Moving freely. Now, a stick will do to separate the pads. At least till I get it on. Oh, actually first, clean that disc as best you can. You could take it to a automotive place and get them to, I won't say grind the disc, but give it a shave. Would certainly help. But for now, because I'm tight ass, I'm just using a rag. Thank you. Now stay. I'm going to have to use a screwdriver. There's no way around it.
Eventually, later.
Alright. Just checking the oil, so I had to have it running for a little bit. Oh, come off. Still needs more. It's probably why it's ticking off its head. Ah, yuck. You, how much have we got? Yeah, a little bit. Still need a little bit, but it's not too bad. Better than it was. Little life hack for you, just so I didn't have to pull the cover off and get the side out just to get some Aerostat or Start You Bastard in the carby. What I've done is I just got a self-tapping screw, something like that. Excuse my dirty fingers and nails. Yeah, just got one of those and literally screwed it in the side a few times just to make a hole. Now I'll just get the nozzle and stick it in, give it a squirt. A little bit handy. Help anyway. Just watch where you are screwing it in, making sure that it's on the inside of the air filter, because if it's on the outside it won't do a thing. Now before I ran out of battery, I went to get the what did I go to do? I went to do something and ran out of battery in the meantime, so I've put the pads back in, all done, and now it's the first test ride. Now if they're not working still, if it still requires a hell of a lot of pull to get them to stop fast, I think I may have to change the master cylinder, because I've got to make sure it's the right diameter. Otherwise, there's two sizes, one bigger, one smaller. The bigger one's usually road bikes. Little one, well, big one's bigger bikes really. If it's the little one, it's not forcing as much pressure. So the bigger one will give me a lot more force. Plus I should change my lines for braided one day. That'd help too. So, let's see if it runs and stops. Still doing nothing. It's just not stopping. That's full. That's full. Full grab. I have to change the master cylinder. Alright, brakes front and rear still on the list. Not necessarily now, not necessarily now. Got to cover the seat. Spokes question mark. Oil is done. Enough. Clutch and brakes. It is a scrapper, but it's got to be able to stop. Cool. Oh well. Until next time. Project's still underway. Cool. Ride safe out there.